welcome to a surprise Flick and the Bozman show. I say surprise. I had no idea we were going to do a show, and Boz came up with an idea earlier today, I believe, and I said, "Yeah, what the heck? Let's do it." And he certainly can't make picks during the week because he gets beaten every week, so we might as well try this.
Hey, that's not inaccurate.
You resemble that remark.
Exactly. How you doing, Flick?
So I am doing well. And the title of your idea was "Can your favorite team make the Super Bowl?"
Yes, that is exactly right. So we're going to go through team by team. You're going to pitch me the team, and I'm going to say yay or nay.
Or if everything goes right. One of my favorite reality shows uses a complex system called Yes, No, Maybe. So you could go with that system if you want. But we could.
That sounds very complicated.
It is. It does it does oddly get complicated.
To me, like maybe is a yes, right? Like if you say I'm just going to pick a team at random, if you say Indianapolis Colts,
the Eagles, I'm throwing the Eagles out there.
Are the Eagles a maybe? They actually have a +9 point differential. I'm going to say no. They're a no. 3-6. They get too much work to do.
They're second in their in the NFC East.
Yeah, that's not relevant.
All right, so while we're in the NFC and while we're in the East, we'll work east to north to west to south to something like that. So the Eagles are officially a no.
They are. Are they totally? They may be a maybe. As I'm looking at their schedule, they're 3-6. Here's their schedule. They're at Denver, home against the Saints,
loss.
At the Giants,
loss.
At the Jets,
loss.
Wait, what?
I said lost everything so far.
Yeah, they got 2 with the Washington team football, another with the Giants and the Cowboys. So their toughest games are Denver, at Denver, New Orleans, and Dallas. The rest of them are winnable.
There's one minor problem, though.
They're the Eagles.
They stink, yes.
So I'm not saying that so that's where they have probably 2-3 games that they will be lucky to win one of, and the other games they'll probably be lucky to win half of, and they're already 3 games under. So I'm putting them out.
All right. While you're there, how about the Giants?
No, they're done.
How about it seems like Washington hasn't played in about a month, but they're on my list here. So
they are still a team. They have uniforms and everything. They don't have a name, but they are done. No, they're not good. We didn't spend any time on them.
They've only played 8 games. Okay, so the Eagles and Giants haven't had their bye yet. See how I figured that out? That was good. The Cowboys.
Cowboys are in.
They're in the playoffs, but how
even
far?
Even if Cooper has to be their quarterback, they are in the playoffs.
How far
will they make the Super Bowl? They've got a good chance to make the Super Bowl. Absolutely. It's going to be reliant on Dak being healthy. But yeah, I'm not overly pleased with their coach.
No,
I know
not
McCarthy
either.
has a ring, but he's not.
I don't know how. I think I do know how, and that's good quarterbacking. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. In spite, they were good enough that they won in spite of him.
He goes for
which
2.
They might again, right? I mean, that's Dak Prescott is a damn good quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to win. They're going to be in the playoffs and maybe even win a game, but they'll lose a heartbreaker and they'll bring everybody back and think it's fine, and it's not really fine.
It's not. McCarthy is going to probably be their hamstring, but they have a decent chance at a home field at a first round bye, right? I mean,
yeah,
and that gets you a long way, and once you get into the postseason, so yeah, they've got a good chance.
All right, the Detroit Lions.
No, done. Next,
the Chicago Bears.
The Bears, you start to get into this where you're only like really 2 games out of a playoff spot or something with the Bears and the Vikings. But I looked at their schedules; they're not making it. They have both Bears and Vikings have too tough of a road. The Bears have the Ravens, Cardinals, Packers, Seahawks, and Vikings twice.
No,
they're not doing it.
That's double-digit losses.
Yeah. And the Vikings similarly have too tough a schedule. So, you're looking at they're at the Chargers. They have the Packers twice, 49ers, Steelers, Rams. No, they're not doing it.
Doesn't work. Can
So
the
the
Packers
Packers are in.
can the
The Packers
Packers
have
get
a
a
good
bye?
chance,
Okay.
but their good chance is going to. I think it's largely rely on one, Aaron Rodgers not having a big reaction to COVID, which seems like that's the case, and two, the likelihood is that the NFL won't punish him severely, if at all, from a play standpoint for his idiocy.
So you put that nicely.
Thank you.
You put that about as well as you could. The Sam Darnold led Carolina Panthers.
I'm going to say they have a good chance to make the playoffs if McCaffrey can get healthy. And he was put off of the IR, I think, before last week. I don't think he played last week. What I've seen from them early on, they had a fairly easy schedule. They did beat the Saints in week 2. But when McCaffrey was in, they were a different team offensively. I like their coach. I think Darnold is decent enough that with good players around him, he could lead a playoff team. Are they a Super Bowl team? I no, not with Darnold. I just don't see it.
The 45 point to the bad Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. Again, let me pass on this one for a second because to me,
I gave you how many choices? Pass. That's not one of the choices.
Well, I'm going to come back to it just a second.
Okay.
Because when you're looking at who's going to make the
New
playoffs
Orleans
in the
Saints.
NFC, well, let me. That's who I want to get to next. When you look at who's going to make the playoffs in the NFC, you've got the Packers, you got the Cowboys, you got the Bucks, you got the Cardinals, and you got the Rams. That's 5. So there's 2 other teams that have to make it. I've eliminated the entire NFC East other than the Cowboys, the entire NFC North other than the Packers. And so that leaves you with two of the Saints, Falcons, Panthers, 49ers, and Seahawks. 2 of those teams have to make it. And the Falcons and Saints have the Saints have a 2-game advantage on those other teams, but they don't have their quarterback. So that's going to be a problem. I mean, I just don't think Simeon's going to be a guy that can lead them to the playoffs. They still have to play the Titans, the Bills, the Cowboys, the Buccaneers, and yes, they have to play the Falcons a second time after having just lost to them. So the Saints have their work cut out for them just to beat the Falcons as the second team in their division, even though they're 90 points better, 91 points better than them in the point differential so far this year. And the Falcons have been playing somewhat better of late. They also have a tougher schedule. They do have the Cowboys, the Bucks, and the Bills, and again the Saints, who they already beat. But they have the Saints at home the last week of the season. So a slightly easier schedule. I think the Falcons get into the playoffs. And I think Matt Ryan, he's already been a Super Bowl quarterback. There's a non-zero chance that the Falcons could make the Super Bowl. It's slim, but it's there.
I strapped myself into my chair, and I'm glad I did. The Falcons have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. That's a quote. That's a quote. A non-zero chance.
A non-zero chance.
Wow. All right. And Tampa does win that division, right?
Tampa wins the division easily. I think the Falcons have a better chance than the Saints. I like the Saints coach, obviously. I don't like the Saints quarterback situation. And the fact that Michael Thomas is out is going to hurt their chances. I think the Saints have a lesser chance than the Falcons. It's maybe still not a non-zero chance. Maybe there's a better than zero chance for the Saints too, because again, two of these last 4 teams have to make it.
So you got Arizona and the Rams in. Do you have a
Yeah.
preference on who wins the NFC West?
I think the Rams are the better team, but the Cardinals beat them head to head, and the Rams had a very puzzling loss to the Titans last week.
That was strange.
I really didn't think they had any business losing that game.
No,
Uh,
I watched maybe the first 10 minutes of the first quarter, and they were up 3-0, I think, and I turned out I watched some other show for an hour, and I came back and halftime was just ending, I guess, and it was 21-3. They were losing. What the heck happened?
yeah, right.
Um, I also went to bed last night at 20-6 Steelers, so maybe I'm not so good at timing when these games, which part of these games I should watch. But all right, so Rams Cardinals are going to make it. It's just a matter of who's going to win the West, in your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they both have obviously a great chance to make the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl. Um, they do have the talent. They do have good enough coaching. I think Kingsbury is a very good young coach, and McVay, right? Is I'm saying the name right? Making sure I got the name right.
Yeah, make sure.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, make sure I was having it mixed up with another mix something, and as I am wont to do. So yeah, I think they both have a good chance. Obviously, the Cardinals have a leg up, being a win up, and they have that win is directly against the Rams. So getting the bye week would get them a slightly better chance at this point.
For
Seahawks
very
obviously have a puncher's chance. They have a better than they've scored more points than they've given up, and they've done it right. Russell Wilson's been to the Super Bowl twice with this coach, largely with some of their team is still there that went to the Super Bowl a few years ago, not just him and the coach. So I think the Seahawks have to be taken seriously as long as Russell Wilson gets healthy. I mean, as long as Geno Smith is in there, that's going to be tough. They do have a pretty tough schedule, though.
What's wrong with the Niners?
They're not good.
Oh, okay.
They do have better point differential than a lot of teams. They play the Rams, they play the Seahawks and Vikings, they play the Bengals, Falcons, Titans, Rams again. I think their schedule is a little tough. They're starting from a little bit too far behind. I think they're at least a year away, assuming they have the right guy or guys as at quarterback.
All right, so now officially for the Flick and the Bosman archives, you're going to do the 1 through 7 seeds in the NFC. The number 1 seed will be who?
I'll say the Cardinals.
The number 2 seed will be who?
I'm going to say the Cowboys.
The number 3 seed will be?
I'm going to say the Bucks.
The number 4 seed will be?
Packers.
The number 5 seed will be?
Rams.
The number 6 seed will be?
I'm going to say Seahawks.
And the number 7 team will be?
I'm going to say Falcons.
The little that I can contribute is that seems reasonable to me. Doesn't seem like you did anything that crazy there.
The Saints obviously will be in the mix. They have a 2-game lead on the Seahawks currently. I think their quarterbacking situation and their schedule is going to work against them. So that's why I went with those teams.
And by the way, you are listening to the Flick and the Bosman show. You can send us your ideas on who may make the playoffs. That's all we're doing tonight. We'll do maybe some trivia or maybe some beat the Boz later in the week. And he's been a punching bag so far this season, so you can step right up and take your chance. Well, I guess we still have to have the defending champion back, but
yes,
we'll figure that out later in the week. But you can always email us, flickboz@gmail.com, or our Twitter, which is @flickboz, or you can just make a comment if you're watching on YouTube under the YouTube video, which is just us talking. So why we do it on YouTube, I don't know. It was cheap, I guess. All right, so we'll move on over to the AFC, and I'll try a different format. You ready for this? We're going to start with the worst records first in the AFC.
Sounds good. And just for those of you scoring at home, we started with the NFC because I thought it would be easier. You literally have two entire divisions in the AFC with above 500 records.
You do.
And figuring out which of them is going to make the playoffs or have a chance to win the Super Bowl is going to be a challenge. Go for it.
It is a mess. So I'll ask if the Houston Texans are still in the mix.
No. Worst team in football.
Are the 2-win Jacksonville Jaguars still in the mix?
They are not, but they had an interesting win this week. I'd be shocked.
The old 9-6 victory, a thriller. The next worst record in the AFC is the Miami Dolphins.
They're not good.
I suppose not. They're sitting here behind the Jets on my standings chart, so that can't be a good thing.
It cannot be.
So
you're going to laugh. I thought the Jets, if they could have figured out a way to beat the Colts, and it would have involved Mike White staying healthy if they had any chance. If they could have done it, they have enough winnable games left in their schedule. They could actually have finished over 500. Ain't gonna happen now.
But everybody playing the Jets says that too. Okay, anyway, there are, I believe, 5-4 teams in the AFC. So we'll take them one at a time, and we'll start with the great, beautiful state of Ohio. And you got the Browns and the Bengals.
2 weeks ago, everybody loved the Bengals. Then they lose to the Jets, and they lose again to the Browns. I still think the Bengals are a good team. I like Burrow. I like Chase. They've got a good defense. I like their coach. But you can't lose those games. Do they have a chance to make the Super Bowl? Yes. At least as good a chance as the Falcons. But that's not saying much. I don't think they are likely to make the playoffs in this conference because of the total mediocrity or whatever. What's the word I'm looking for? Diversity, not diversity.
No.
Something with a D.
Disgracefulness? No, that's not.
Disgracefulness? Yeah.
Something like
that. I'm sure the Twitter guys will let us know.
Oh yes, they liked it. They were really rooting on Hillary to beat you, though.
Oh, sure. Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. You would. And so does Cleveland have a better chance than Cincinnati?
They just beat them. So you got a better chance of making the playoffs because you've got the head-to-head now, and they beat them in Cincinnati, and they play again the last week of the season in Cleveland. So if they can hold court and win at home, then they own the tiebreaker over them. Ergo, they have a better chance of making the playoffs. Ergo, they probably have a better chance of making the Super Bowl. And again, it's a non-zero chance. They got rid of Odell, and so that's addition by subtraction. Parenthetically, I saw that Odell's choice of teams, his rumor has it, at Green Bay, where strangely enough, I think he would be an awesome fit and probably be every bit as good as Randy Moss was for the Patriots a few years back. And I've seen that comparison talent wise. I think that's, he's maybe not quite to that level, but he's a damn good receiver. I think the Browns did well to get rid of him. I don't think he helped them. But I think he would help the Packers because Rodgers would demand his respect and because they really need a guy of his talent. So if that should happen, that'll help the Packers. I like the Browns' chances to have a chance to make the Super Bowl. I like Baker Mayfield. I will say it's a small chance still. We're still in the really slim chance because they seem to find a way to lose in painful ways even today. Just I can't explain it. They just kill that fan base.
I gave you a chance to use QED and you decided not to use it. Oh well.
Oh yes, yes. Thus it is proven.
Thus it is proven. The Steelers and the Ravens.
Uh, the Steelers still are a negative point differential. They seem to be finding ways to win. Um, you know, the you still have Roethlisberger if he can be healthy like he was in the first 2/3 of the season last year. You definitely give him a puncher's chance. I think Tomlin is still a very good coach. Um, they haven't really gotten blown out by anybody. They've lost by 2 touchdowns to the Bengals back in week 3, by 10 to the Packers,
They've won 4
by
in a
9 to
row.
the Raiders. What's that?
They've won 4 in a row.
They have won 4 in a row, and they play the Lions next. That'll probably have to think that'll make it 5. And then things get a little hard. They don't have a lot of hard games except in the division. They have the Chargers in LA, at Bengals, Ravens, at Vikings, Titans at home. That'll be a tough one. At the Chiefs, Browns at home, and at the Ravens. There's no easy games in that, right? But there's no games where you go, well, they don't have a chance there.
Right.
Right. I don't know who that would be in today's NFL.
Now, maybe if you had to go play Tampa in Tampa or something, but
I guess I don't know.
I'm guessing. Ravens.
I would have thought the Rams were that chance,
Yeah.
but that team. But then they go ahead and lose last week.
Put up a stinker.
To the Titans without Derrick Henry. I mean, how do you lose that at home?
I'm not so sure.
So yeah, the Steelers have a chance. I don't think it's a great chance. I think their schedule is too tough. Where they're not quite. I just don't see them staying healthy enough and making that difference. So I would put them probably as maybe the 4th best team in the division, but they still have a good chance to make the playoffs and make the Super Bowl.
Is Baltimore the most likely winner of that division?
You have to say so, right? I mean, they've got a game lead on the Steelers and a game and a half on the other teams. They had the stinker a couple weeks ago against the Bengals, which really put a lot of people off. Their other loss was week 1 to the Raiders, which doesn't look that bad. Their non-divisional schedule, they play the Dolphins, the Bears. They do have the Packers at home. They have the Rams at home. So there's a couple of good ones and a couple of tough ones there. But I think they get it done and win the division.
You're going 1 through 7 is going to be tough, but we'll stick with the. I was on the 5 and 4 teams, then I drifted off them. But how about I get back on them with the New England Patriots,
who have also been on a bit of a win streak, 3 in a row, beating now the Panthers in Carolina and the Chargers in LA, and of course the Jets. Before that,
of course.
They had a tough loss to the Cowboys before that. I mean, they definitely have a chance to win, to make the playoffs. And with Belichick, they always have a chance. They've got, I think, on paper, a very good defense. Statistically, they haven't played that well this year. Talent-wise, they were, preseason, they were thought to be bringing back a lot of talent on defense. I think, Mac Jones continues to get more comfortable. They don't ask a lot of him, and that was how they won in the early Brady years, with largely the team around him. So yeah, they definitely have a chance to win the Super Bowl. I hate to say it, but they do.
But they're not better than Buffalo, are they?
I don't think so. But Buffalo just lost to freaking Jacksonville. What does that say?
There goes our NC-16 rating, or whatever it's called.
Oh, flippin'. Can I say flippin'?
Much better. Yeah, sure.
Yes. I don't mean to use your name as a derogatory.
No, that would be flicking. Oh,
yeah. Okay, yeah, sorry. I knew that. So funny you think I didn't know that. But the Bills haven't played each other yet, right? They still have both games against each other.
I believe that's correct. Yeah, one's
Bills
the
and Patriots.
last game of the year, right?
Yeah. So game one is coming up in a few weeks. I think 3 or 4 weeks from now. 1, 2, 3, 4 games from now, and then the last, and then 2 weeks or 3 weeks after that. The Bills' actually last game of the season is against the Jets at home. So they actually finished with the Falcons and Jets.
So pretty much everyone I heard was saying, "Oh, Bills are the best team in the AFC," and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And what? What
they've got
happened?
they've got by far the best point differential in the AFC. Almost twice the Patriots, who are second, and yet they're a half a game up.
Yeah.
And they just lost to the flippin' Jaguars.
Do they make the playoffs?
Yes, they make the playoffs.
All right. Do the Kansas City Chiefs make the playoffs?
I'm going to say no. I think they still have too many problems on defense. They got the couple wins in a row now. They beat the Giants, which they should have lost. Not because the Giants played well, but because they got lucky with the Giants having a stupid offside penalty that negated the interception that would have, I think, won the game for the Giants. And then they beat the Packers without Rodgers. I almost said without Favre. They did beat him without Favre as well, but that's less relevant.
Baltimore won without Stover, so it was.
Yes, they did win without Matt Stover. Strangely enough, Stover not headed for the Hall of Fame.
If you were playing trivia last week with us, you know what we're talking
about. So I think the Chiefs still have too many problems. They get the rate. Their schedule is not great. No easy games at all. They don't have a ton of hard games, but they haven't showed me they've straightened out the ship yet. So
Denver pretty much gave up on the season and then dominated in a victory last week.
Yes, right. They trade their probably their best player on their team, and then come up with a big win. I will say the Chiefs obviously have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And if they make the playoffs and Mahomes is healthy, yes, they have a chance to win the Super Bowl.
It's something.
My prediction is they won't.
No, something. You're telling me they're a 6 or 7 seed? I don't think they put together 4 good games or whatever it would take to win it. So
I think they do. I think even as a 7 seed, they would have a chance. I would say they would have a chance.
Yeah, but they won't be home,
just as a
and they're not playing fundamentally sound right now.
Right? No, they're not. But could they? Yes. Right. I mean, look, I got to think back to my Giants. The 2 times they won the Super Bowl, they were not good teams. No. The best team they had in the Eli Manning era was the year after they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And when they lost Plaxico to the stupid shooting himself in the leg.
Yep.
That was their best team. And their 2 times they won, they were not good most of the season, and they got hot at the right time. Could the Chiefs do that? I think they could. Yeah.
How are the Raiders looking to you?
You can't lose that game to the Giants.
I just saw it happen.
If you're a Super Bowl team with aspirations to win the Super Bowl, you can't lose. My thought was that they've had so much adversity with the Gruden thing and now with the Henry Ruggs thing, that they would show some resiliency and they would come back and beat the Giants on the road in a 1:00 game as a West Coast team. And that they would show you that they played decently, but the key pick 6 was a killer there. I think there's a chance that they just fall apart. Could they rally and make the Super Bowl? Yes. You're asking me right now today, I don't think they make the playoffs. I think things start to go off the rails, and it may start this week with the Chiefs.
The Chargers are 3-1 on the road and 2-2 at home. Can they make the playoffs? Could they do better than that?
Every time I start believing in the Chargers, Justin Herbert starts reminding me of Bobby Hebert, and it's not a good thing. Yes, they could. Yeah, they need to start playing more consistently. They lost 34-6 to the Ravens.
Very weird.
We lost by a field goal to the Patriots a couple weeks ago. Narrowly beat the Eagles on the road. Um, they just need to start playing more consistently. The rest of their schedule, we'll just run it down real quick. They have the Vikings and Steelers at home, at the Broncos and Bengals, Giants and Chiefs at home, at the Texans, home against the Broncos, at the Raiders. So their non-divisional schedule is not that difficult, right? I mean, take care of business at home, which they haven't yet, to your point, in a consistent manner.
That sounds like 10-7 to me.
Yeah, I mean, in this division, if the Chiefs don't take charge of it, you could see them making a run at it and winning the division with 10 wins.
Yeah. All right, let's before you do your 1-7, let's do the Titans have the South sewn up?
Oh yeah.
Will they be the number 1 seed?
I think so. I mean, their toughest games right now are this week at home against the Saints, who still don't have a quarterback that I would want to rely on. At New England a couple weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, and at the Steelers a few weeks after that. Their other games are against bad teams. They let me just give them to you. They play the Texans,
that's a win.
Jaguars,
that's a
the
win.
49ers, the Dolphins, and the Texans again.
That's a win.
That's like 5 gimmies.
That's about 13-4.
Yeah. And if they win a game, at Pittsburgh or at New England, they could be 14-3 or even better. They could theoretically win out and finish at 15-2.
I sensed it last week, and it didn't happen. But there's going to be a tie soon.
All right.
When you 14-3-1. When you got 7 playoff teams and it's this messy, you're going to throw in a tie. You're going to throw in we need like a Cleveland. Who do they play? Do they have a bye or their next
Cleveland
game?
Does have their bye coming up, but not this week, I don't think. I can see them tying, the Raiders or something like that. Right?
Okay, I like that. All right, 1-7, the 1 seed in the AFC.
I think it's the Titans, not because they're the best team, but because they have the easiest schedule.
The 2 seed in the AFC.
There's a real drop off in the only other team with 2 losses currently is the Ravens. So I guess I'll go there. I just can't. The Bills Jaguars game is still so fresh in my mouth. I can't go there.
The 3 seed in the AFC.
I'll go Bills. I think they're still better than the Patriots. They need to get their act together though.
The 4 seed.
I will say Chargers.
That's leaving you with the tough stuff. The 5 seed.
Yeah. I will say Patriots, and I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Thanks for sharing. That may have been TMI, as they say. The 6 seed is, of course.
I'm going to say Cincinnati.
And the 7 seed in the AFC.
Defying all odds based on what they've done so far this year, and their defense is still terrible. Terrible. I'm going to say the Chiefs.
And your final 4, give me the 2 AFC teams and the 2 NFC teams.
I'm going to say Bills and Titans.
It's reasonable.
And I'm going to say Rams and Cowboys.
And your Super Bowl matchup will be?
I'm going to say Rams and Bills.
And we've taped 58 versions of this, so you're bound to have it right in one of them.
I'd say at least a 10% chance out of 58.
10%.
One of the 58 is correct.
All right, it's not a trivia night, but currently my my daughter, who's going to Pitt, is at the opening game of the Pitt basketball season, and they are getting doubled up right now. By whom? Or is by whom?
By whom? Pitt is playing Syracuse.
Pitt is losing to the Citadel.
No.
29-14 currently.
No, that can't happen.
That's a live update right there.
Woof.
29-14, not even halftime. Citadel's nickname is, of course,
They are the Chanticleers. No, they're not. They're the Cadets.
they're the Bulldogs.
Ah, crap! I should know that.
I,
They're in Furman's division, so that I really should know that.
you should know every team's nickname in Furman's division.
Well,
All right, well,
they're our rivals.
well,
They are our rivals.
Boz, it was a lot of fun, as I knew it would be, and maybe we'll get together later on in the week, and or maybe you'll be hired as the meta GM or third base coach or something.
I am available for any of those positions.
All right, have a good night, and thank you out there for listening.